Well, it's been a minute, everybody, since my last video. There's been a lot of things that went on in my life that weren't too pleasant. Those things are behind me now. And during that time, I didn't have the mindset, nor did I think I could get the proper message across to everyone in our sport. And from Camp Butner until Talladega this past year, 600, I was really in a slump and I wasn't feeling good about anything I was doing. So I really couldn't have given you good information or a good message. So that's all behind me now, and I'm back, and I can't wait to put this video out there. Hopefully it'll help you improve your offhand scores. This video is going to be really in depth on offhand. I'm going to really break it down. When I was at Butner, they suggested a lot of different things to me. They had a mini clinic. One of the things was they suggested I loosen up my coat because my rifle kept slipping on the coat. And the other thing they said was when I got my position and the way I was holding my rifle here, we all know I held it like that because of this, I was leaning over trying to keep the rifle straight and then my body would sway, okay? So they changed that on me a little bit. What they suggested I do is I cant the rifle. So I've been doing that since then, and with the new rule where we can use 10-round magazines, I was palming the magazine here. And it worked fairly well for me, but I would hit it and then I wouldn't hit it. Then I would hit it and I wouldn't hit it. So it really wasn't consistent. The other disadvantage I found with loosening my jacket up is the center of my back started to really hurt, okay? Because now I loosened up the support of the jacket. I had the pleasure of coaching staffs next to Zevin from the AMU. We really talked a lot. He gave me so much advice. We went to the air rifle range and him and I both agree that we should tighten our jacket up. That's what works for me. If it doesn't work for you, that's cool. For me, I needed to tighten it back up. One of the things he suggested was in my position, because we all know this is how I mount the rifle, but by doing this, the distance from my shoulder to my rifle is very large. And I have to use, you can see my hand shaking right now trying to hold it up. And he suggested I need more muscle tension because my arm wants to drop. And I agreed with that. So I went to the palm grip of the magazine. And by doing that, you can see how much closer my support arm is to my body, and it's a little bit more vertical. All right. The other thing that I changed in my position, and I have some video clips I'm going to show you, and let me grab my rifle here. And my rifle is safe, okay? We know that. There's no ammunition in it. So I already checked it. So now what I do is I grab the magazine, I put it in the web between my middle finger and index finger. Okay, so when I come down on the rifle now, all right, you can see how my hand will be. So that gives me a little bit more elevation in my position, and it works really great. Now the other thing I do is with my grip. I take this pinky and I put it above this nib on here. And then I wrap these two fingers like that, okay? And then when I come down on the gun, I don't really need any tension, muscle tension to hold the rifle, because when I mount the rifle now, you can see where the mag is, right? And I always lift with two arms. And when I bring it into my shoulder, I pull down. And now, because of the natural position of my arm pulling down, if you will, it just locks in position. So I'm not adding any tension to what we do. One of the shooters I shoot with said someone advised him to grab that grip really hard. And that's cool. If it works for you, do it. I'm not saying anything against it. But for me, I found when I do that, I introduce what I call noise. And that noise transmits to the rifle, so you're going to increase your wobble, right? That tension is what's holding my rifle in place, not physical muscle like this. So I'm going to put this up because it's heavy as a son of a gun. The other thing I found, and I don't know why I did this, probably to make scores better, try this, try that. I only had half a weight in the front of my gun and I completely forgot about it. So I put a full weight back in the gun, and it's really super heavy now. And the balance point is really great. So what's really important too is your balance point. Zevin and I agreed, he told me that and I agreed to that. So this is how I keep my rifle. You can see the balance point is almost perfect. Okay, that's going to make sure if you're not butt heavy, your rifle's not going to do this. If you're end heavy, it's going to do this. So that's going to give you a better support as well. So make sure that your rifle is balanced is one of the other suggestions that Zevin said. Now, I had the good fortune of running into another shooter at Talladega 600. And I asked him, you know, all week long, I've just had a lot of what I call noise in my position. So he listened to me and he suggested a couple things. One, he said, we need some type of muscle tension to stand, right? If you're standing, you're using something, because if we didn't, we would just fall down, right? We do so that would be like a rag doll, right? So it's more or less controlled muscle. So he told me, focus on one thing. And that day under Congressional 30, it was like 27 degrees. And I live down in South Carolina now, so I don't do cold, so it was like brutal for me. But I guess if you're from Ohio or something, it was like a normal day for you. But for me, I was freezing. So he suggested to focus on one thing. And what I did was I focused on my support arm. Now, I was holding a palm mag hold at that time. And when I mounted the rifle and came down, I just looked down at my hand to make sure it's where I wanted. And I can check position by looking down to make sure everything's lined up the way I want. And that's all I focused on was that. And I was fortunate to shoot my highest offhand score in the Congressional 30 to date, which was fantastic. And when I saw him in the lobby at the end of the day, I told him what I did and I thanked him for his help. If you have the opportunity to talk to an AMU shooter and you're not doing it, I'm going to suggest you're doing yourself a terrible injustice. And so what I did at Camp Butner is I took some things that worked. Talking to Zevin, I took things that he said and I made it mine. Okay, now I think I have a really great position. Since Talladega, I've raised my offhand score 2 points on average, which I think is fantastic. The thing about dry fire for me, and may be true with you, it may feel super great in dry fire, but when you get in a match or the range to practice, it doesn't feel great. Case in point is, I had the buttstock set a certain distance for prone when I'm dry firing. When I got to the range this past match, as soon as I took my first, tried to shoulder the rifle, I was being pulled to the right. I said, I'm not going to fight this. I shortened it up one click, boom, and I shot a fantastic prone, shot a fantastic slow prone. And so that's my position now. Things will feel a little bit different in dry fire because there's absolutely no pressure whatsoever, okay? And to this date, it doesn't matter. I get in a match, local match, big match, small match, in between match, it doesn't matter. I'm like this, okay? So instead of fighting it now, I just go with it. I had to shorten that buttstock up. I fell right in my position that I wanted, boom. Changed my zero a little bit because I did that. So I shot 99, then I cleaned the second string and I cleaned slow prone, which was fantastic. So that's my position now. So I use that in dry fire. So in addition to dry fire, you also have to go to the range and do some live fire to confirm what you're doing in dry fire is real or not real. What I'm going to say is I'm not disrespecting anyone's position whatsoever. If it works for you, absolutely do it. There's 1,000 people on the fire line, 2,000 people. There is that many opinions about offhand and what to do. And I used to do this, I said it earlier. And this competitor, you know, took the firing line, and the feet were going this way and the rifle was going this way, all right? Now, that's all well and good if you can make it work, but from a biomechanical perspective, if you will, there's no support anywhere, okay? This is open, you're swaying, and that's why I like what Zevin suggested to me, keeping my feet parallel, all right? And the other thing too is we had cowboy boots on. Cowboy boots are gonna give you 2 points contact because you got a heel and a toe. So that's all you're gonna be touching. I wear red wing boots. The sole is very flat and it's very wide. Wear an army boot. It's much flatter that the AMU uses. And the more of your foot you can get in touch with the ground, the better off it's going to be, okay? So that's my suggestion on that. And doing what Zevin said with my feet, okay? And taking what the AMU told me in Butner canting, now you can see how much tighter my position is it's much tighter compared to what I used to do when I would just angle my body a little bit and my rifle was here. Now you can see how much more open this is, right? So the tighter you can make this, okay? And if you start from the bottom up, that's your foundation, bottom up. Don't build top down, which is target down, okay? Build bottom up and get that foundation and then go through your shot process, bam. And you lock in and you wait on your shot, bang, you pull the trigger. I have some video clips that I'm gonna go over. I'm gonna narrate over them. Really zoomed in on the position, my hand, how I mount the rifle, front position, side position, back position, so you get a whole good picture of my new position. And as I said, I've been very fortunate so far I raised my average 2 points since Talladega, so I think that's really super great. Stay till the end. I have a surprise, a new device from Mantis that I want to share with y'all. And we're going to go over the videos now. Now, we really zoomed in here, so you can see how I grab that magazine between my two fingers, how I wrap my hand around that grip, and how I dig that buttstock into the pad on my coat. You can see it really is a little indentation there. So the zooming in is going to give you a really good idea of what my hand and support hand are really doing. And you can see how close they are, and it's a very stable position for me. One of the things they suggested at Butner also was to keep your sling tight. It will help prevent the wind from moving your rifle if it's a very windy day. And it blocked the trigger just a little bit, so in the next clip you're going to see that I loosened it up so you can get a really good view of my support hand and where my trigger finger goes on the trigger. But you can see how close that the rifle is to my shoulder now compared to what it used to be, and it makes the position a lot more stable for me. So now again here I loosened up the sling so you get a better view of what I'm doing. You can see how that magazine is sitting between my index and middle finger. It was working out really well as far as elevation. I've always struggled with elevation. Now I'm understanding more and more why that is. And you can see how I always keep the safety engaged and I disengage it when I take the shot. Now from the front view, again, this is going to give you a good view of how that rifle is basically over the center of my body and how my head is basically vertical. It's not canting, it's not leaning like it used to, I'm not swaying the way I used to sway. And for me, I just have to wait until that rifle is where I want it to be before I break the shot. It's a little further away. You get the whole view of the whole body, head to toe. And you can see every time I pick that rifle up, I'm doing the exact same thing over and over. And that's really what our game is, guys. It's just repeating it over and over and over. There's not much new to really talk about. It's just repetition, repetition, repetition. And it's mastering that position and finding something that works for you. Now again, from the right side, head to toe, you can see the position, how stable it is. And it's a position that I really super like. And I think it's going to work really well for me. And I hope it does for you all too. The surprise I have is from Mantis. Mantis created these dry fire pistols. It's a self-contained unit. It has a built-in app. It has a laser. So we'll come over here and you can see the impacts, which is fantastic for me. I'm not a pistol shooter, but maybe in my quest to becoming a distinguished pistolman, this will help me do it. It has a removable magazine. It comes with 2 magazines. It's designed so you can do 1-round drills. So you shoot, reload, do another shot. The app is self-contained. You just push this little button here. It automatically downloads for you. There's all different kinds of drills you can do with it. The next video I'm going to make, we're going to go outside. We're going to shoot this thing. If you're sitting down watching your football game and a commercial comes up, you can have this on your couch. You can put a target on your wall and you can just shoot away during your commercials. So you can use it anywhere you want in the house, which is fantastic. And I think this little thing is great. It comes in the Glock platform. It's called the Titan X. And this is a Glock 45. I bought the 45 because that's all I own is 45s. So I like it. And I hope it helps me out to get my distinguished pistolman's badge. You can practice IPSC with it, put your targets around your yard and bang, 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 bang. Or you can do bullseye shooting with it. You know, it's just one hand. And I really need help with that because this hand shakes quite a bit. So I hope you like it on the next video. I hope you check it out. And if you're a pistol shooter or just a self-defense shooter, it's going to come in really handy for you. So that being said, I hope to see you at the Spring Classic in Talladega. Have a great day. God bless and see you on the range.